Elderclaw abilities and taming explained. Helicoprion arrives to ARK next week, and your building templates to be added to base game ARK. So Community Crunch 472 arrives to us, introducing the Elderclaw, which of course we saw before, and this time with a dossier to tell us all about what this thing actually does. It comes with a touch of mystical. Spirit Bear stepped out of the legend and onto the pages of its dossier, where the mysteries run deeper than tooth and claw, with some hopeful explanation in how it's tamed that this supernatural entity, whilst rarely attacking unprovoked, won't shy away from a fight, instinctively controlling nearby vegetation to wrap itself in a thick tangle of protective vines. Sounds like we'll be touching on some kinks with sending out roots to entangle any aggressor. Well, assuming it doesn't just knock them out with its stupid, massive paws. When nettled, it'll conjure up a spirit echo to emanate vibrations that weaken threats while invigorating those in protection, collecting the energies of violence around it to imbue its attacks with enough fury and power to trigger explosive growth. Whilst it's explained it stays normally immaterial, a cloud dispersed from this thing can burn aggressors but seemingly heal allies at the same time, confirming this to definitely be a supporting creature. With a sort of scale offered, it does appear this is going to be definitely bigger than a dire bear, which was my first thought. And to break it down, it sounds like it's got the ability to trap players in place and also poison enemies whilst healing at the same time. And interestingly, it reads like to do this massive attack, it needs to actually receive damage to do so, or perhaps as long as there's damage being done nearby it, it's gonna go beast mode. A creature I'm definitely excited to see how powerful this one truly is. It's already feeling quite like a monster, as the dossier is explaining, but how do you tame it? Domesticated, the dossier explains that you'll be probably not even encountering an Elderclaw in their adult state, but instead finding their cubs or shrubs, as the dossier says, which seem more impressionable, which reads like you'll need to kill these to obtain seeds that, once sprouted, has grown into your very own Elderclaw, with a little nod on this seeming to be great for harvesting nearby trees. It's a wonder, are we going to be popping these in crop plots to grow? That'd be quite hilarious. Or do you simply just throw this seed down like perhaps an egg and you hatch it and then it grows as you would any normal egg? To backtrack a little bit on myself there, it seems these cubs or shrubs are going to be near an adult Elderclaw that you won't be able to tame. You'll only be able to tame their offspring, just like a Gigantoraptor. And it sounds like you're going to have to kill its offspring whilst trying to avoid the adult Elderclaw. Either way, I'm very excited for this new creature, arriving with Valguero, of course, on September the 30th when the map drops, though we might see a delay or two after that. We'll see. Maybe expect 1 or 2 days after that. You know how these map drops go. But it's coming very fast. You've only got 1 month to wait until Nakatis' revisioned version of his very first map that joined the ASE roster to be brought to ARK Survival Ascended, and I'm very much looking forward to this one to see what Nakatis has learned from his previous maps and brought into this revisioned original mod map. But before that, of course, we've got the Helicoprion, which was originally meant to drop this week, then got pushed back to August 27th, with the devs explaining this gives them a little more room to ensure its debut makes a real splash when it surfaces in ASA's oceans. A lot of people out there were saying, what the hell, why have you got to delay something that already exists in modded form? Who knows, it could be some rebalancing, some repurposing of its taming methods. I would imagine it's probably down to that percentage rate of changing loot into BPs, which is what this thing is going to be famous for. It's going to be an absolute must tame for anybody who's playing ARK, especially unofficial. You've now got the opportunity to make as many BPs as you want, and curiously so, will you be able to combine it with the tinkering desk to make some possibly really cheap BPs? I explained this before, that in order to tame this thing, originally you had to feed it some rat fish thing, and then Garuga quite recently, I think over the last 12 months or so, changed its taming process for you to actually feed it a crafted item. In fact, not a crafted item, a non-crafted item, a saddle, armor, weapon that you gotten out of a drop. And of course, the better the item, the higher the chance to ride this thing like Seabiscuit, initiating a bit of a equus taming method where you've got to hit prompts at the right time to get yourself back your very own grinder. organic grinder, because if its blueprint creating effectiveness isn't high enough, then there's a good chance it might actually just turn into mats for you instead. You might even find that to be useful. I don't remember the mats being gifted much though whenever you grinded something, so perhaps heed warning with that one. And with any creature, the higher the level, the better that effectiveness, that chance on rolling loot into blueprints. Can't wait to see it next week. On top of that, there's an ASA build template contest just gone live, which is going to be running until Wednesday, September the 10th, where the name's on the tin, really. You get to build your very own template, post it within the build contest section of the official Discord, and make sure you're abiding by guidelines. It needs to be official compatible, no overlapping or modded structures. And I imagine the competition will be fierce for this one, because whoever wins is going to be added to the actual in-game template as something you can place whenever you want without needing to import a template. So console players especially, it's going to be a great one for you, with you able to vote for 2 of the winners and 2 being picked by wildcard themselves. The voting range for these will begin in the Discord on Wednesday, September the 10th, ending on Wednesday, September the 17th, with the finalists and final voting on September the 19th, with the winners announced on September the 29th, just before Valguero drops. With some brand new official cosmetics doing the rounds once again. This one by Architecto looks pretty insane, complementive of course of the Lost Colony expansion DLC, and Blitzfire coming in with some very detailed cosmetics for your existing creatures to complement their saddles and such, to go for that medieval primitive vibe. Might need to check these out myself. Oh, especially these warrior saddles. Wow, 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 wow. I need this in my life. And the Rex just polished me off. Flipping heck. Oh no, the car just polished me off. Oh my god. Okay, sold. Sold. There's a lot going on in the world of ARK. New creatures to look forward to, a map around the corner. Hopefully Lost Colony still arrives when it does at the end of the year, and I look forward to really truly seeing these building templates, which ones get added to the initial core template for you to import and use yourself. Can I compete with some of the people out there? Probably not. There's some monsters out there that build some amazing things. I look forward to seeing what goes on. Until the next one, my name is Raasclark. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It as always.